Hello students, we are going to start chapter 11, reproduction in plants. In this chapter we are going to learn about asexual reproduction, vegetative propagation by natural and artificial methods, sexual reproduction and seed dispersal. Okay, asexual reproduction. Before doing this, what is reproduction? The process by which living organisms produce young ones of their own kind is called as reproduction. That is the process by which living organisms produces the young ones of their own kind. Reproduction is not necessary for the survival of an individual. That is, the organism can still live without reproducing. But if there is no reproduction, it may lead to the extinction of the species. Okay, so reproduction is not necessary. So without reproducing, the organism can live. But if the reproduction does not occurs, it leads to the extinction of the species. There are two types of reproduction, that is asexual and sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, this is the simplest form of reproduction in which new offsprings is formed from the cells of the single organism. Okay, asexual reproduction is nothing but it is a kind of reproduction in which only a single parent is involved. Okay, they are commonly seen in algae, fungi, yeast. Okay, so this is asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction, that is budding. We are going to see budding. Budding is a asexual reproduction. So this is the diagram of budding. In this, see, this is an yeast. First a bud develops, then the nucleus divide, and then this bud comes out in the form of chain and new offsprings are formed. So budding is seen in the organisms like yeast. A bulb-like structure, projection protrudes from the body of the parents of an organism, which is called as bud. The bud continues to grow and finally detaches itself from the parent cell, and finally it comes out from the parent cell. So this detached cell then continues to live as a whole new individual cell. The new cell which is formed is same identical to their parents. Next, fragmentation. Fragmentation is seen in the algae like Spirogaea. This is the fragmentation of Spirogaea. Okay, the body of the parent organisms breaks into fragments. So this is the body of the parent. It breaks into fragment, and each fragments grow to the function as new individual. So it has been divided into half. This half will grow into new individual. This half will grow into new individual. Next, spore formation. Spores are nothing but they are tiny spherical single-celled body produced for the purpose of reproduction. These are the spore formation. Spores are nothing but they are tiny spherical single-celled body produced for the purpose of reproduction. They are produced and released from the specialized structure of the plant body. These spores can remain alive but not active, okay, during the harsh weather condition. They grow into new plant under the favorable conditions like mosses, ferns, fungi. They reproduce by this method. This is the spore formation. Next, vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. New plants are found to grow from the vegetative part of the parent's plant, such as roots, stem, leaves. This type of reproduction is called as vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction can take naturally or can be carried out by the artificial mean. So, the vegetative propagation takes by the natural means. In nature, most plants reproduce with the help of stem, roots, and leaves. Many of the plants which reproduce through the stem, leaves, or roots. From stems, new plants can grow either from the horizontal stems or from the underground stems. They are runners, called runners, stolen, offset, suckers. So these are the examples of these plants. Next, some plants have underground stems that are swollen to store the food and have buds which can grow into the new plants like potato, okay, which we call it as tubers, onion, garlic, which are called as bulbs, ginger, water lily, which are called as rhizobium, and yam and cosilla, this is called as corm. So this is they reproduce they reproduce through the underground stem or the underground stems, okay. Next, from roots, some plants like sweet potato, dahlia, have a swollen root without any shape. These roots are called as tuberous roots. These roots have small buds which give rise to a new plant when they are planted in the soil. So from leaves, the plants like birophyllum, they produces buds from the margin of the leaves. So birophyllum leaves, they the birophyllum plant, they reproduce through the leaves. Next, vegetative propagation by artificial means like cutting, the artificial methods which through which the plant can grow, like cutting, grafting, and layering. So what are the advantages of vegetative propagation? Vegetative propagation is very useful for the plant growers as they can grow large quantity of new plants in a short time. They can grow more amount of the plants from in the short period. The newly produced plants have exact characteristics as that of their parent plant. It is easy to produce new varieties of the plant with the required characteristics. Next, fruits without seeds, disease, or drought resistance plant can be produced using this method. These are the advantages of vegetative propagation. Now, our next type of reproduction is sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction where a new plant develops from the fusion of male and female gamete. In the sexual reproduction, male and female gamete combine, get fused together to form the new offspring or the new plant. Next, parts of flower. What are the parts of flower which are responsible for the reproduction? We require a male and female gamete for the reproduction or to produce a new plant. Stamen. It is the male part of the flower. So see, this is pistil and this is stamen. Stamen is the male part of the flower. It has a long filament with the elongated. So see, it has a long filament with a elongated sac-like structure at its tip called as anther. At the tip, it is an anther, a elongated tube-like structure which is called as filament. This anther holds the pollen grains inside it. Anther contains pollen grains. Next, pistil. Pistil is of female. Pistil is the female part. It consists of three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. Okay, stigma is the tip of that, style is the tube, and the ovary is the swollen part. It is the female part of the flower. It has a tube-like structure called as style. This is a tube-like structure. It's called as style. The style is oval shaped at the base. This is an oval shaped at the base. This is called ovary. The tip of the style is sticky. This is called as stigma. If you touch the stigma, it is a sticky part. It helps. Why it is sticky? Because it attracts the pollens from the anther. This anther has to reach stigma. So it helps to attach the pollen grains during the pollination. So these are the male and female part of the flower. So this is an hibiscus flower. The flower having both stamen and pistil. If a flower has both the pistil and the stamen, they are called as bisexual flowers. Okay, that is, they are called as complete flowers or bisexual flowers. If the flowers having both stamen and pistils are called as bisexual flowers, they are also called complete flowers. Some examples of the bisexual flowers are hibiscus and wild rose. Similarly, if a flower has only either a male part or a female part, if a flower is having only stamen or female part, that is pistil, they are called as unisexual flowers. These flowers are called as incomplete flowers because they contain only one reproductive part, that is either the male or the female. Some examples of this are like watermelon or cucumber. They are called as unisexual flower. Unisexual means having single reproductive part. Next, what is pollination? Pollination, the process of transfer of pollen from the anther to the stigma of the pistil, is called pollination. Means the anther has the pollen grains which has to be transferred to the stigma of the pistil. That process is called as pollination. When the pollen grains enters the stigma, it reaches the ovary where the fertilization takes place. That is the process of fusion of male and female gametes. The ovary contain ovules. This pollen grains fuses with the ovules and the fertilization takes place. That is the process of fusion of male and female gamete is known as fertilization. As the fertilization occurs, this fertilized cell is called as zygote. So, what is the fertilized cell called? After the fusion of male and female gamete, it changes into zygote. Zygote is the first cell formed after the fertilization. Zygote divides, develops to form embryo. The cell inside the embryo then becomes different and develops into the shoot and root. The ovary develops into a fruit and the ovules develop into the seeds. The ovary which is present, it develops into the fruit, and the ovules which are present, they are develops into the seeds. In this way, the fertilization takes place in the plants. Next, seed dispersal. Now, how the seeds can be dispersed? Once the seed dry, they get dispersed. Seed dispersal is the scattering of seeds over the large area by the various means. The different means of seed dispersal are wind, water, animal, and explosion of food. Different means of seed dispersal are dispersion by the explosion, by wind, by water, or by animals. In explosion, in this method, the fruit bursts, opens with a great force, scattering the seeds inside it. By wind, the seeds which dispersed by the winds, they are carried away by the winds, and when the wind blows, the seeds are easily blown away far off the places. Next, dispersal by the water. Seeds are dispersed by the water also. Water has a spongy coat or a layer of fiber that makes them light. Example, coconut for that. Dispersal by the animals. The animals eat the fruits and discard the seeds. Animals such as squirrel bury the seeds in the soil in order to hide the seeds and then forget about it. Some birds eat the fruit along with the seeds and pass them out in their excreta. Then the seeds germinate into new plant under the favorable condition. So these are the different means of the seed dispersal. Till here your chapter has been completed. Thank you.